Is this you? Hi, how are you? Good. It's good to see you.
What's Kevin White's dad's name? It's Pat and
Testing. I think we're okay. We're going to get started, so if everybody would like to just find a seat. Before we begin our ceremony, I would like to do something special that we have done the last few years, and that is to recognize all the veterans and currently serving military that are here in attendance today. I am asking anyone who raised their right hand and took the oath to join us for a picture. I am also asking all of our chapter members and Blue Star Mothers to join us on the brick circle. I'm always amazed at how many veterans we have in attendance from all different generations and war times. And we want to begin by recognizing you. So if we have any World War II veterans, please come up and stand to the right of me. Korean veterans to the left. Vietnam veterans, please stand behind this tent on the other end of the circle. Veterans of modern wars, 1980 on, or currently. Okay, I need all the moms. Okay. I want to get pictures with different groups. So first we're going to do Korea. Looks like we don't have any World War II this year. We lost our Paul Arnone this last year, so take a picture. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just some of our local heroes from our community who have served our nation. Please join me in thanking them for their service. We thank you all from the bottoms of our hearts. Okay. My name is Susan Raleigh. I'm the president of the Lake Erie, New York, Chapter 4 of the Blue Star Mothers of America. And on behalf of our chapter, I would like to welcome you here today. Our very first for us to reflect and honor 21 brave men and women from our area who fought and fell during peacetime keeping missions, conflicts, and wars while in service to our country, making the ultimate sacrifice to our country and each one of us. I would first like to welcome our veterans. Where would we be without the less than 1% of our population who were brave enough to stand up and protect the rest of us? I, along with Chapter 4 of the Blue Star Mothers of America, want to thank each and every one of you for your service. Thank you for being here today to honor those heroes along with their families. I would also like to welcome our distinguished guests here today, our elected officials, and all of those who serve and volunteer their time with prestigious titles with various veterans groups, all who agreed without hesitation to be here for this very special memorial service. Most of all, I want to welcome and thank all of our Gold Star families for attending today, and for those that couldn't be here for keeping this special event in their thoughts and on their hearts. I know that you never dreamed that you ever would be identified as a Gold Star mother, father, family, or friend, but here you are. Your loved ones stepped up and volunteered. They took the oath to support and honor and defend our nation, many of them after it had been attacked by terrorists on our own soil. They made that decision on their own, and what heroes they are. I know nothing can replace your beloved child, and the grief that you have experienced at losing your loved one is something you carry with you each and every day. Mothers, fathers, spouses, children, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends, so many that are unknown to most of us, all who have carried and will carry that sacrifice with them for the rest of their lives until the time when they are reunited with their loved one again. Sacrifices many of you here today are enduring, and the reason we are here today to reflect on the lives of your loved one and to ensure that not only their service but yours also are never, ever forgotten. I would like you to know that there isn't a day that goes by that you don't enter my thoughts and the thoughts of every Blue Star mother here, and you are all in my daily prayers. So may I extend a very warm welcome to everyone here, and thank you for being here to share in honoring and remembering our Gold Star heroes and their families today. At this time, I would like to invite Pastor William Blair to the podium, along with Marlene Samuelson and Jacob Sears. We're going to start with the invocation.
Okay. Would you pray with me, please? Eternal Father, strong to save, we gather today here amidst fluttering ensigns on this grassy field, and in spirit join with millions across our country to honor and to mourn the loss of men and women who in personal sacrifice paid for the freedom we enjoy. We gather to comfort moms and dads, children, families who even today feel the keenest of sorrow when reminded of their loss. Be with us now, and let that which we do today, honoring our fallen, bring peace and solace to those who mourn. Cause us to carry a solemn gratitude that forever etches in our minds the memory of those whom we honor today. Bless our proceedings, Lord, our ceremony, by your Spirit and your presence among us. Draw us close to you. And in Christ Jesus' name, I ask these things. Amen.
Blue Star Mother Marlene Samuelson is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And at this time, I would like to invite Jacob Sears. Jacob is leaving after graduation for West Point, and I would like to ask him to lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jacob. It was beautiful. Many people have asked me, what is a Blue Star or Gold Star mother? A Blue Star mother is a mother whose child has a child serving in our military. Some have 2, 3, or more. The numbers of stars on the banner that she may display in her home identifies the number of children she has serving in the military. A Gold Star mother, however, is a mother whose child has died during a time of service, during a time of war, and her Blue Star has turned to gold. Gold Star mothers and families and Blue Star mothers and families stand together. We support one another. Gold Star mothers understand us, and we empathize with them. We mentally step into their shoes every time our children deploy. The thought of that knock on the door is unbearable and unthinkable. It's a moment that changes a family's life forever. From the moment we first know that our children are on their way, we begin to protect them and love them, and that never ends. We are their mothers, their fathers. Our unconditional love for them goes on forever. It's not until death do us part. They are our children throughout eternity. As a mother of a son who is deployed 5 times, I can tell you that is the most comforting thing I have ever known. It is the only way for us to be able to let them go. I am not the only parent that has felt that way. Parents throughout all time have. Americans as far back in time as the Revolutionary War have had the same feelings, and as they witnessed their children leaving, knowing they were heading into war. We are not the star when it comes to Blue Star parents. Our children are. They are the reason we have that title. They are not only our stars, but America's stars also. White stars on our flag represent America's states. Blue stars represent those who serve our country. And gold stars represent those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. I just want to talk a little bit today about what the true meaning of Memorial Day is. Is it a celebration of the beginning of summer and being able to wear white? It is not. It's a day to remember and honor. Is it a holiday? No, it's not. It's a day to remember and honor. Should our greetings be Happy Memorial Day? No, they should not. It's a day to remember and honor. Should we attend the Memorial Day Parade? Oh, yes, absolutely we should, to remember and honor those who died during their service to our nation. The United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, the greatest country in the world, a nation built and maintained by heroes. Our armed forces are comprised of the most selfless men and women in the world. How heroic is someone willing to leave their family, risk their life, dedicate every part of their being to defend our nation. It is outside of my comprehension to grasp the idea that we have so many people who are willing to place themselves in harm's way on our behalf so that we may sleep peacefully at night. I'm allowed that luxury because of them. Our men and women in uniform exemplify bravery. There is no doubt about that. We should all be thankful every day for every single one of them. On Armed Forces Day, which was last Saturday, May 20th, we show our appreciation for those currently serving. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, we thank our veterans for the sacrifices and hard work of their service. Memorial Day, however, is different. Memorial Day is the day to remember and pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. While we are all rightfully proud of our service member for his or her service, remember that there are those who have buried a husband, a wife, a father, a mother, a child. It is essential that we pay our respects to the fallen by not losing focus on what Memorial Day is about. I urge you to use this opportunity to memorialize the lives of those who took their last breaths in our defense, because that is what Memorial Day is about. Our Gold Star heroes gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we would have the freedom to live our lives and to use this long weekend to celebrate our families and our time together, to barbecue and picnic and whatever we want to do. But as you do, please keep the sacrifices of every Gold Star hero on your heart. I would like to at this time recognize past New York State Gold Star Mother President Holly Baker and her husband Greg, parents of Brian Baker, and thank them for attending today. Thank you. And I would like to now recognize all of our Gold Star parents here today. Please stand if you feel comfortable doing so. Okay, we're going to get started with our speakers today. As you all may know, Congressman Nick Langworthy grew up in South Dayton and graduated from Pine Valley Central School. He very much wanted to be here today to address our Gold Star families. However, he was called back to Washington for budget negotiations. He did send his wonderful representative to be here with us today, and I am happy and honored to introduce, and please help me welcome, Christine McAllister to our podium this morning.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today on behalf of Congressman Langworthy to honor the families who have sacrificed a loved one for our freedom. A couple of months ago, the Congressman had the privilege of personally meeting two Gold Star families who are present today, Greg and Holly Baker, Paul and Pat White. The sacrifices you and your children have made are not in vain, and we can never thank the Gold Star families enough. Congressman Langworthy has asked me to extend his sincere regrets that he could not be in attendance today. He's here in spirit as we remember and honor those patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice and laid down their lives for this nation. America wouldn't exist without the incredible heroes willing to sacrifice themselves for a greater purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I would like now to invite to the podium a great friend of mine, and it happens to be his birthday today. And he's a great friend to all the people in his district. Senator George Borrello doesn't only have a great mind for business, he has a deep love for his district, which makes him invaluable to all of us as our New York State Senator. George has a deep respect for our military and our veterans, and he understands military families as his father is a veteran of the Vietnam War. George also strongly supports the Dwyer program and all it stands for. George stands up for everything he believes in for our state and his district, and I appreciate that he is such a hard-working senator and fights very hard in Albany for all of his constituents here in Western New York. Please help me welcome to our podium today our New York State Senator, George Borrello.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, everyone, and I am once again humbled to be here. I want to thank the Gold Star families, the Blue Star mothers, all of you that have sacrificed so much, our veterans, all of you that answered the call. It's just, again, very humbling. On Monday, on Memorial Day, I will be participating in the parade, and I'm honored also to recite the preamble to the Constitution as part of the ceremony, which begins, of course, with "We the People." And the Constitution is an amazing document, probably one of the most amazing documents ever written in the history of man. It was really perfect, and it's withstood the test of time, nearly a quarter century. But at the end of the day, those are just words on a piece of paper. The Constitution is alive because of the people that have sacrificed to protect it, so that we can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is written with the blood of those who have died, whether it's in the wars that we fought around the world to protect democracy, to ensure that this country is protected, the homeland is protected, everyone that goes out. The Constitution is what it is only because of those that are willing to sacrifice their lives. The families that gave up their children so that America could continue to be the greatest place on earth, the greatest country that has ever existed. So when we read those words that start with "we the people" and that end with the basic rights that we so enjoy, those words only have meaning because of the sacrifices of those that we honor today. And that is the meaning of Memorial Day, and that is why we're here today. So when you go out and you hear folks that sometimes say that, well, the Constitution is this or that, America isn't this or that, remember that those words that they are speaking, not only are they wrong, but they are an insult to the folks who have given up everything so that that Constitution means something to every American, to everyone who wishes to come here from around the world to be an American, to have that Constitution to protect them, and the folks that protect the Constitution. God bless you all. God bless and those that we honor today, and the families that sacrifice so much. And may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Our next honored guest is also a good friend, not only to me, but to all who know him. And he's also a huge supporter of our military and our veterans. He understands more than most what military parents must endure because he is a military father. Assemblyman Goodell's daughter, Jessica, is a veteran. Jessica Goodell joined the Marines after graduating from school. In 2004, she volunteered to serve in the Marine Corps' first officially declared Mortuary Affairs Unit in Iraq, and she worked very closely with our Gold Star heroes. So Andy truly understands the fears of having his own child serve during a time of war. He has a passion to support our military and our veterans, and this comes from the first-hand experience with his own family. So please help me to welcome here today a Blue Star father and our very hard-working New York State Assemblyman, Andy Goodell.
Good morning. I want everyone to take just a moment and reflect on what you value the most and appreciate the most right now. Is it the fact that you live in a free country? Is it the fact that you have a long weekend that you can enjoy with friends and family? Is it the fact that you can freely speak in America, whether what you're saying is popular or unpopular? All those things that we so appreciate did not come easily or free. And what we appreciate today on Memorial Day and the rest of the year came as a result of those who went before us. those who signed the dotted line, those who went through rigorous training, those who put their lives on the line, and those who didn't come back. I dare say that every one of us here today is deeply thankful for all the blessings that we enjoy, that we sometimes take for granted without recognizing the incredible cost and commitment that others gave so that we could be here appreciating this beautiful day and looking forward to what comes next. So on Memorial Day, it is so incredibly important for us to remember and to thank those who went ahead of us, knowing that what we have today is what they gave us as their gift to us and others. And I challenge each of us, don't waste that gift. Don't abuse the gift. Don't ignore the gift. Don't take that gift for granted. And remember, those who went ahead of us, who gave us everything, deserve our recognition, our thanks, and our undying gratitude. God bless those who went ahead of us. God bless America.
Thank you, Andy. Our next guest is well known all over Chautauqua County as our hardworking county executive. PJ Wendell has a great love for Chautauqua County, which makes him invaluable to our area. County Executive Wendell spent the first 25 years of his career in the education field as a teacher. He is very dedicated to Chautauqua County, and he has proved that during his time as county executive in many ways. PJ also has a deep respect for our military, our veterans, and is also part of a military family as his father is a Vietnam veteran. Which is another reason I'm very honored to welcome to our podium today our Chautauqua County Executive, PJ Wendell.
Thank you, and as many have said, I'm truly honored and humbled to be here and just to speak a few words. A couple years ago we talked, and I think it's more prevalent now, that we remember we are the United States of America, and the brave men who fell for this country fell for a United States, not a states divided or a state divided or perhaps even a county divided, but yet one united, one holding fast, one standing for our principles, listening to indifference, and realizing we're all here for one purpose. The families, our Gold Star families, have paid the ultimate sacrifice. A mere 160 years ago, this nation stood divided, and we realized that a country divided will never stand. And more so now, we need to come together. When people can make jabs and ridicules on Facebook and social media. But we need to stand together and talk, looking at each other eye to eye, having conversations, making sure that what we stand for is for the betterment of this great nation and not the betterment for individuals. As I've said before, I'm humbled and very proud to represent Chautauqua County. But it's also evident that the lives that are given continue. We don't look back to only a Vietnam veteran or a Vietnam Gold Star family. But in the conflicts and the wars we fought since then, we have still lost residents of Chautauqua County. So as I said before, please take time this weekend to remember those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. We stand here in a veterans park, not on the hallowed grounds of a cemetery, but on a place here in this city where we can remember all of those who have served, those who made it home and those who didn't. So on behalf of the residents of Chautauqua County, to our Blue Star families, thank you for your loved ones. And for our Gold Star families, thank you for the sacrifice that your children gave to us. God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, PJ. At this time, I would like to welcome and thank Jamestown's mayor for all the help he gave us with being able to have this ceremony today in this beautiful park. Since graduating from Jamestown High School in 2007, Mayor Sundquist has been quite busy. In 2010, he graduated from college to become a teacher, and then while teaching, attended law school and became a lawyer. After being elected in 2020, he stepped into the role as the 25th mayor of our city of Jamestown. He has also been very helpful to our organization in making this day possible for our Gold Star families, so I want to thank him from the bottom of our hearts for that. Please help me in welcoming to the podium the mayor of the city of Jamestown, Eddie Sundquist.
Sneak behind you there. Thank you everyone for being here today, and welcome to our Veterans Memorial Park. It is an honor to be here on this somber occasion, and I thank each and every one of you for allowing myself and other community leaders the opportunity to speak today. I also want to thank our Blue Star mothers that put this together each year, our Veterans Commission for the creation of this beautiful park, and our Parks Department that helps us put on these events. Each year we celebrate Memorial Day as an opportunity to think back on those who have paid the ultimate price for freedom, justice, and a safe America. Through blood, sweat, and tears, we built our country on these fundamentals, and we are soberly reminded that our comfortable lives are not without a cost. Every life lost in service to our country is a tragedy, and no one knows this quite like our Gold Star families. We use this Memorial Day to remember the loved ones we have lost, taken far too soon. Too often we talk about these loved ones as statistics, not fully knowing the individual stories of those who gave everything. But you, our Gold Star mothers, are intimately aware of the humanity behind those numbers. Our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters, our fathers and mothers, friends, and devoted members of our community. Having to live with that is a burden few know and many cannot begin to understand. It is a sacrifice that takes a heavy toll on our nation's conscience. Many of you here today may remember the words of President Ronald Reagan in his 1967 inaugural address. And in fact, words that still ring true today. He said, "Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation away from extinction. It's not ours by way of inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. For it comes only once to a people, and those in world history who have known freedom, then lost it, have never known it again." We are called on this Memorial Day and each and every year to reflect on the sacrifice of freedom and know that we as a nation must continue to fight for it, defend it at all costs, with the full knowledge that more Gold Star families may be created. Our freedom is never really free, but to lose it means we may never see it again. In a world full of many things for our future generations to learn, this is of the utmost importance to teach. It is up to each and every one of us to show our young men and women the true price of freedom. Today, I stand with you to honor your loved ones, to recognize your pain, to honor your resilience, and to say that this nation is forever indebted to you. I thank you all for being here, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak and remember all of our families.
Thank you, Mayor Sundquist. It is now my distinct honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker for our 2023 Gold Star Memorial. New York State Senator Robert Ortt enlisted in the New York Army National Guard in October of 2001 in direct response to the attacks on September 11th. He is a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, where he served from March to December in 2008. His mission was to serve as a combat mentor advisor to the Afghan National Police in Kandahar City. Rob was responsible for ensuring that all logistical needs of the company were met to facilitate operational readiness, coordinate, run all company meetings. Due to his service during that deployment, Rob was the recipient of the Bronze Star, the Army Commendation Medal, the Afghan Campaign Medal, and the Combat Infantryman's Badge. While serving our country in the National Guard, Rob served as the city clerk treasurer of North Tonawanda, the first ever city official to hold that combined title. Rob then was elected to serve as the mayor of North Tonawanda, and he was elected to serve as a New York State Senator in the beginning of January of 2015. At the start of the 2019 legislative session, Rob became the ranking member of the New York State Senate Committee on Agriculture and the Committee on Veterans, Homeland Security, and Military Affairs. And he is very proud of introducing and expanding the Joseph P. Dwyer program in his district. In June of 2020, Rob was elected and currently serves as New York State Republican Minority Leader. We are very proud and honored to welcome our 2023 keynote speaker, District 62, New York State Senator Robert Ortt.
Well, good morning. It is good to be with you here today. I always, when I see keynote speaker, that always sort of carries with it that it's going to be the best speech, right, as it should be. But I was reminded as I was listening to my colleagues, Senator Borrello, Assemblyman Goodell, your county executive, the mayor, they all said it really well and very eloquently, and they touched on different aspects, and it left me with the thought that old quote that everything has been said, but it hasn't been said by everyone. So I will be the last speaker, I guess, to try to talk about or to try to synthesize why we're here today and what it really means. And I want to thank my colleagues in government. I want to thank the Blue Star Mothers and anyone who helped put this event together, because these events don't happen in every community. That's a shame, but it's a truth. And you are all here today, and I see there's some young people here today. And that's incredibly important, because as the mayor was talking and quoting Ronald Reagan about future generations, they need to be here when they're 8 and 9 and 10 to understand, so that when they're 30 and 40 and 50, they will have an appreciation for what this day is. It's not just a Saturday. It's not just a long weekend, a day off of school. There's a reason for it. And so I want to thank all of you who took the time out of your busy life to stop and to pay tribute to those who aren't here today, to enjoy a long weekend with their family and their friends. And I think the county executive was talking about being united, and it made me think about, we're united today. I do believe, we are certainly, if you are on social media, if you watch the news, it can feel like we're more divided than ever sometimes. Maybe not here, but certainly across New York State, across the country, it feels like we're as divided as we've ever been, maybe in my lifetime. But I like to think that we are united today. We're united in gratitude. We're united in the gratitude to the folks who paid the ultimate sacrifice and to the families who raised those warriors. When I was in the United States military, I'm very fond of saying that they are great. The United States Army, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Navy, Coast Guard, they are very good at turning young children into adults. If you send your little boy to the Marine Corps, when he comes out, he's a man. You send your daughter into the Air Force, when she comes out, she's a woman. They turn young, at a time when I feel like young people are encouraged to be young people forever, right? You're 29 years old living in your parents' basement. It's a good deal, I suppose, right? But the United States military takes a different view. When you join, when you raise your hand, you take that oath, you're going to be an adult when they're done with you. And you're going to be a citizen when they're done with you. And I thought about that because when you think about what is the fuel that makes America go, Senator Barella touched on the Constitution and a great document, but it is, at the end of the day, like any document, it is ink on parchment. That's what it is. Unless someone was willing to put their life on the line, and our founders were, they were willing to put their lives on the line, and for generations since then, young people, and that's the key. It's not a 35-year-old, there are certainly the 35-year-olds who serve, but more often than not, the price of our freedom is a young man or woman. And the veterans who are here today know someone who didn't come home, and they were 19. They were 20 years old. The price that we pay is the promise of that person's life, the promise and all the future hopes and the dreams and the aspirations are laid on the altar of freedom so that America could achieve our promise, our future, our hopes and aspirations as a country. That's the trade-off that happens in every generation. And I used to think, and I think we all do, and I certainly want to pay honor to our veterans who are here, but also obviously those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And I think we often think, what could be more selfless than giving up your own life for your country? That's got to be the highest form of citizenship. It's got to be the highest sacrifice. And as someone who served over in Afghanistan, I once thought that until I was there, and since I've come home, I've realized that's really not the highest form. The highest form are the parents and the families who gave up their children. That's the highest. Because every parent who's here, every Gold Star family would gladly lay down on the ground if their loved one could come back. So when we talk about sacrifice, it is just often important to me that we remember the Gold Star families who are here, because that really is the ultimate sacrifice. That is what it really means. That is the fuel of our country, sadly, It is children. Even though they're adults, even though they are men and women in the Marine Corps, in the Army, in the Air Force, they are someone's child. It is someone's little girl or little boy who they helped do their homework and coach them at t-ball and take them to hockey practice. And you as parents know it's always your child. You always see them in that way, even when you're proud of them as they grow into men and women, even when they come out with that uniform on from graduation at boot camp. But that is the highest form of sacrifice that any American can do, is to give their child. As Abraham Lincoln said to Mrs. Bixby in Boston, who lost multiple children during the Civil War, he said to her, there's really no words. And this was a president who knew how to use words. But there were no words that he could offer to her to assuage the pain that she must feel. But he also said, there's also nothing I can tell you that can describe the honor that is solely yours for having laid such a sacrifice on the altar of freedom. And I would just say, I would close with that when we're celebrating and we have parades and there's cookouts and there's a day off of work and school, and you might think, well, how can I celebrate this weekend? How can I feel good or take part in those activities without sort of reminding the somberness that I think this weekend has for a lot of us? But you should also be thankful and grateful, and you should celebrate, much like we talk about a celebration of life when somebody has passed away. It is a celebration that there are people who were willing to give their lives, that there are families who produce those people. They don't just come from, like manna from heaven. They come from somebody. They are raised into those people who raise their hand and say, send me. I will go and fight for America. And we should be very thankful indeed that those families exist and that there are still young people like Jacob, who no doubt had a lot of options. He could have gone to multiple colleges. He could have gone and done anything. He can do anything. But he's choosing to serve in the United States military. He's choosing to go to West Point, where he will come out with a 4-year obligation to serve his country. And no doubt for those 4 years or beyond, his mom and dad will worry, even more than a lot of mom and dads worry about their kids. But they should be so proud and they should be happy that they produced a young man who is willing to go and to serve his country and to continue to fight and promote the idea and the experiment that is the United States of America. So I thank you for having me here, to be here with you on this solemn day. To the Gold Star families, thank you for your sacrifice, and never forget that honor is solemnly and exclusively yours, that you laid such an awesome sacrifice on the altar of freedom. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Rob. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. At this time, we will rededicate all 7 of the flowering cherry trees that were planted at our first Gold Star Memorial in 2013 at the Jamestown Veterans Memorial Park, in honor and memory of all of our Gold Star heroes. May each of these beautiful trees serve as a reminder to every eye that falls upon them, every spring that they bloom, every season that they stand. May they be a reminder for all who see their beauty to remember every Gold Star son or daughter from Western New York throughout all time. They, along with all of their families, shall always be remembered. At this time, we're going to have our wreath presentation, so those moms that like to have come forward. Do you want to present your wreath for Jamestown's wreath? Okay, you can come up and do that. First, we will dedicate Jamestown's wreath. You can say something if you'd like. Okay, all right. The city of Jamestown has dedicated a wreath for to place by our stone over here to remember and honor all of our Gold Star heroes. So thank you to the city of Jamestown. Thank you. The Lake Erie, New York Chapter 4 of the Blue Star Mothers of America will place this wreath in honor and remembrance of the brave men and women whose names are about to be read. At this time, I'm going to ask our Vice President, Kathy Culver, to come up and read the poem that is on our rock. And I just want to tell you, this lady is amazing, and today and Monday would not have happened without her. She's been dynamo. So, Kathy.
For the fallen. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. May we never forget.
Thank you, Kathy. And at this time, I'm going to ask our chapter chaplain, Esther Bailey, to come and read, and it's already been talked about today, but read Abraham Lincoln's letter to a mother who lost 5 sons during the Civil War.
Thank you, Susan. Dear Madam, I have been showed in the files of the War Department a statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine, which should attempt to bequeath you the grief or the loss so overwhelming, but I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found and the thanks of a republic that they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only with the cherished memories of your loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Yours very sincerely and respectfully, A. Lincoln.
Okay. Do we have the... Okay. Okay. At this time, we will read the names of our 21 Gold Star heroes. We invite those Gold Star family members who would like to stand and remember the precious life of their loved one to join us at this time around this circle. If you are able, please stand as we read the names of our fallen that we have come here today to honor. The heroes' names will be read, the triangle will sound, and there will be a moment of silence as we honor and remember each of these 21 heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. As the names are read, a biodegradable balloon and ribbon will be released to signify and remember the beautiful life of the hero whose name is being read. Private Kenneth John Nelson.
Captain Gordon Hess.
Specialist Thomas G. Stone.
Airman First Class Michael Emery.
Sergeant Philip M. Freely.
Sergeant Philip L. Witkowski.
Sergeant Brian K. Baker.
Sergeant James C. Madison.
Private Charles S. Cooper.
Army Sergeant Jason C. Denfriend.
Private First Class Patrick W. May.
Lance Corporal Aaron M. Swanson.
Sergeant Kevin W. White.
Sergeant Jonathan A. Golnitz.
Lance Corporal Mason Vanderwerk.
Sergeant First Class Timothy D. McCallick.
Staff Sergeant Michael A. Klaus.
Sergeant Jacqueline Goodwin Anderson.
Staff Sergeant Joshua Thomas.
Sergeant First Class Maxwell Besh.
Jacob, you want to come and lead us? Jacob Sears is now going to lead us all into singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home.
Thank you. At this time, we can have our Gold Star families return to their seats. A very close friend and a Blue Star father said to me one day when we were talking about this memorial ceremony, for us to sacrifice our own life for our country would be a far easier thing to do than to sacrifice our child's life. That pain lasts a lifetime. I know that nothing can replace your beloved children, and the grief you have experienced at losing your loved one is something you carry with you every day. May God bless you all every day of your lives. At this time, I would like to once again welcome Pastor Blair to the podium for the benediction.
Just a note, in your celebrations, set an extra seat at the table. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for having brought us together to pay tribute to those who have lost their lives defending our nation. May their souls live on in your gracious presence, and may they experience the full measure of your love and your mercy. We also ask that you guide us and help us to live lives worthy of the sacrifices from which we have benefited. We pray we never forget how blessed we truly are as a nation and as a people and as your children. We ask for your peace as we go. Amen.
Seat down and put. Forward. Park. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Freeze that. Park.
That concludes the 2023 Gold Star Memorial Service. Please remember that this ceremony will always be held annually, God willing, on the Saturday before Memorial Day at this beautiful park at 10 a.m. I want to personally thank Dan Stone and the park staff for all their hard work and assistance with our memorial today, along with the David Woodburn VVA Chapter 978 for placing the flags around the park. The park looks beautiful. We would also like to thank our bagpiper, Pam Silver, and Doug Clark on the drum, and all the veterans who came together today to be sure that we would have a firing squad. We really appreciate you. The Blue Star Mothers would like to thank everyone for attending today, and as you leave here today, please note that we have cookies over here in the tent with the Blue Star Mother table, and we have cookies and water, and please stop there. And we ask that you always remember the sacrifices of each of our Gold Star heroes from Western New York, along with their families, and the sacrifices they have made and are still making every day for all of our freedoms. All gave some, but on Memorial Day, we recognize those, along with their families, who gave all. Freedom is not free. May God bless each of you, and may God bless America. Thank you for being here today. Also, don't miss the Monday is Memorial Day services at Soldier Circle. Our Blue Star Mother chapter is also hosting that. So please, if you are able to be there, it will start immediately after the parade arrives. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could please just have folks stay away from the gazebo area just for a couple minutes while we deal with a medical emergency, okay?
That's a real good
Thank you.
idea. Thank you.
Ballet's at an event, so she couldn't be here. Nice to see you. Oh, yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah.